Council meetings are long and boring. Wouldn't it be great if they were short and unboring? This is why I've invented the 5-minute meeting. Yeah, all right. Ashland City Council meeting of November 16th. This one starts off with saying, hey, I want to add an item to the agenda, and everyone agreed to change it or reconsider the trails motion from the last meeting so we won't create a trails study group anymore. We're just going to be putting this guy in charge as the liaison to the already existing Parks Trail Commission. This basically undoes a bad idea that they all approved the last meeting. And they all approved it. And then the City Housing and Human Services lady said, introducing the Housing Commission report. And one guy said, oh, yeah, we have co-chairs now at the Housing Commission. We are working with stockholders. But the other lady has a presentation. And the other lady could not get her microphone to work. So the city lady read the commission's report, and COVID interrupted so much, but they still approved some block grant money and housing funds, and the usual yearly awarding of grant money has still happened despite COVID. And they looked at low-income housing and worked with the housing capacity analysis. And the commission is trying to make better the bad weather houseless shelter plan. And this guy goes, hey, what's the count of low-income housing going on, being built right now? And there's 60 units being built on Snowberry. That's the new building stuff behind the Y near Clay Street. There's a lot going on there. And then 20 units at Columbia Care. I'm not certain where that is. And then this one says, hey, she goes, hey, what's up with the urban campground? That was kind of a temporarily funded by COVID thing. So what's the strategy? And the commission guy goes, we're communicating, collaborating with all the different stakeholders like churches and Aura and other groups and stuff. And then, public forum, a woman with audio only. She said, you are not taking climate change seriously. And what if someone 200 years in the future came back and asked you what you did for climate? And I would say, I would like to see your time machine. And then a professor-looking guy said, harumph-harumph, and I am against new parks and the rec bond idea, and you should listen to the budget committee. And then a lady with no photo said, commissions are important and valuable. And then the city manager report, the Ashland has a deal to provide a cop to talent 12 hours a day. And Talent is doing a study to maybe combine Talent and Ashland cops. So Ashland City is going to bring that idea to the Ashland City Council on December 7th. Interesting. And then the consent agenda, there's items 1, 2, and 3 approved. They were all approved. Hope that wasn't expensive. And then the finance report first quarter. And I think the city guy started and he said, there's a little problems with these numbers here and there, nothing too big. But the finance lady said the revised general forecast fund. She said she had to fix a lot of numbers from the last finance lady. And we won't be in debt in 2024 anymore. It was supposed to be like $5 million in debt. And but we will continue to lose $1 to $2 million a year from our existing $12 million budget. And so the next budget committee isn't going to need to deal with that. And this guy goes, hey, budget contingency questions. And I didn't even understand what he was talking about. And then this guy goes, hey, Parks is way underfunded. How do we fix that? And the finance lady said, yeah, that's a good question. I really have no idea. And this one goes, she goes, hey, where is she? She goes, hey, she just talked about the budget to the point where I went into a coma. I didn't understand that. And then finance lady said, hey, there's a difference between the reserve fund and the contingency fund. And then this one said, all the old people that ran that old budget and made mistakes on that last budget, they were doing great work. And COVID just made those mistakes so hard. And you got to go back and actually watch this part of the meeting. There's like millions and millions in mistakes. It's bananas. Then PERS, for a public retirement fund is a problem. Our retirees who've already retired, we owe money because the states are jerks. But any new employee that's is employed by our city is paid for. It's a paid for thing. So don't besmirch the PERS payments to new employees. And then the budget revenue options. The city manager said some recent suggestions to increase revenue are levy voting attempts and fuel tax and live performance ticket tax. And we could build a new shopping center. And the finance lady said, if we don't do any of these, admittedly sad revenue increase options, we're going to need to cut city services. And this one goes, we should do a poll. We should do a poll of the city. And then and this guy goes, hey, we should the revenue enhancement study wasn't great, and we should just start by making budget cuts. And this one says, I propose we ask staff to look at revenue options and then whittle them down. And then this one said, she talked in a nonsensical circle for a while. And then this one said, I move that staff prioritize revenue options with estimates of the amount of money they'd bring in. And this one said, don't forget SEEP. Don't forget SEEP. And this one says, he goes, hey, we need to look at all revenue options. And this guy goes, we need to look at all service cuts. So it passed 4-2. These two, and now the other 4, I guess. And then Briscoe school lease extension. The city wants to add 6 months to the lease of the kids program there at the Briscoe school, so that the city can figure out what to do with that property in the future. And this one says, hey, I approve. I suggest we extend it for 6 months. And everyone's like, yeah, we're on board. And then Pioneer Hall and the community center discussion. So the city planning board guy, the guy with the beard, he goes, there's a retaining wall repair recommendation is moving forward, but we're reviewing slopes first, and we're slowing a lot of other things down. And the roof repair on the community center has to be bid, and then once the repair is done, then that building can be opened. And this guy goes, oh yeah, and then there is a liability to the city because we have reports saying the roof is unsafe, so that makes us a liability. And then the city attorney goes, yeah, well, as a lawyer for the city, I should be and am completely afraid of all liability. And then the city manager goes, yeah, but the Pioneer Hall can be opened during the repairs of Pioneer Hall, because that's not so great. And then the city planning beard guy, he interjected all sorts of confusing new invaluable information. I don't understand what that was about. And then and this one said, hey, so how long does this take? Another year for a community center? Like you're doing the if we start right now, community center roof, 1 year? And the city beard guy goes, yeah, that's it. And then this guy goes, hey, so firms bid on the repair for that community center roof, and they can just bid whatever price they want and propose building any roof they want and disregard the design that we approved? And the city beard guy goes, yeah. And he goes, oh, that's cool. So that's how things go? But and then the city manager goes, a new wrinkle, some guy wants to help build the community center in a private-public partnership. So many questions asked by everybody. Who's this guy? Shouldn't he make a presentation? Will he need to use RPSs or we have to change zoning? Or should we allow competition from other people who want to do that stuff? And this guy had the metaphorical masterpiece. He said, we need to keep the train rolling down the track and not poke sticks into the spokes of the train wheels. Ah, so good. And I think I figured this out. This is my take. I'm guessing that some city staff and councilors are still butthurt that the city bond failed with the voters, and that a citizens ad hoc repair idea was actually adopted by the council, and so butthurt again. And so all those thin-skinned sore losers are just throwing bureaucratic tantrums and slowing everything down by asking for more studies and options and poking sticks into the spokes of the train. That's just my theory on that. And then this one says, she goes, hey, I want to propose a big new public-private community center building proposition, maybe skylights, church views, underground pools, any idea you have is valid. All private partners can bid anything, and we have all new suggestions. And this guy goes, hey, this building should be public. The city council approved a specific repair plan, and all these new ideas is just a way to obfuscate. I just said that. He didn't say that. That's a good word, though, right? The existing project, and he didn't say it, but his eyes said, I'm going to ask questions until time runs out. And he did that, and time ran out. So there was no vote on the proposal. End of meeting. You're welcome.